Today on Locked On Phoenix Suns, our first in-arena episode as the Phoenix Suns beat the Los Angeles Lakers 109-105, led by none other than Devin Booker. Jusuf Nurkic benched. We'll break it down next. Welcome back into Locked On Suns. I am Brendon, Kleen, a staff writer at Awful Announcing and a credentialed Suns media member. Thank you for making Locked On Suns your first listen to kick off your winning Tuesday. Don't forget, Locked On Suns is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So click that follow or subscribe button. Do what thousands of other Suns fans have already done. Become an everydayer. Get locked on to the Phoenix Suns right here each and every day. Today's episode, guys, brought to you by the wonderful folks at Game Time, the best place to buy any ticket. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA when you do to get $20 off your first purchase. Joining me as always, right here, the executive producer of The Drive on Fox Sports 910 from Footprint Center.
Oh, yeah.
How are we feeling?
I feel great. The Suns just beat the Lakers. That was a highly intense game, but it was just the ability for the Suns to be resilient and mostly just Budenholzer being able to come out and continuously make the correct offensive adjustments needed. And then just sitting here with you. It's nice to be able to do a show together. People let us know if they like this a little bit differently.
We got Brad right here.
Guys behind us. Beal. I thought there was actually someone behind us when you said Brad.
It's like a perfect shot of Bradley Beal though in our background. We got some janitors doing their thing. We're going to be respectful of them, be quiet a little bit here. But 109-105, the Suns beat the Lakers. They get revenge from that Friday game. 7 words or less game take. I'm going to shout out Jesse, who has followed and listened to the show for a long time. It's actually explicit. I'm not able to say her 7 words or less game take, but it is done, D-U-N-N, deal, and F-L-A.
Oh.
What's yours, Ben?
You are catching me a little off guard. It's just, they beat L.A. How about that?
Yeah.
That's
all it takes. I mean, in the Valley, that matters a lot.
I've only been on this show for a month, and I'm clearly not remembering my duties that I need to do. So that escaped me, but they beat LA, and that to me is all that matters.
I also want to shout out another person before we really dive in with our moments of the game here. Hector, guy who works at Suns Vision. I didn't even tell you this. So he does stuff behind the scenes in the arena, like the T-shirt toss, the fan cam.
Yeah.
He listens every day. He said what's up to us while I was eating in the media room. He said all of his family listens. He checks it out every day.
My guy Hector.
He wanted to say hello. So shout out to Hector. Appreciate you saying what's up. My moment of the game here, Ben, as I grab my notes, 6:35, and this is a bigger point that I want to make. It's not that this moment decided the game. I mean, really, it's coming back from that 18-point deficit early, but Mason Plumlee checks in at the 6-minute and 35 mark of the game. So we're already benching Jusuf Nurkic is already in full effect. That happened in the first half. Suns tried to go small. It worked intermittently, but Anthony Davis comes back in that fourth quarter. He's feasting again. Had a huge first quarter, quiet second and third. He's starting to get hot again in the fourth quarter, just taking Royce O'Neal's lunch. Mike Budenholzer puts Plumlee back in the game. They're down 2. AD is at the line, having just gotten an and 1 against Royce. Suns were down 2. They go on to obviously win the game by 4. Last 6.5 minutes, they win it by 6. And that encapsulated the game, not so much because anything huge necessarily happened in that moment. They kind of just took care of business. The story of this game to me is AD destroying it, Jusuf Nurkic early, and the adjustment to take him out. And that's going to be what we're talking about until the Suns play again on Thursday.
I think the biggest takeaway of this game, we'll get to the moment of the game just really quickly, is I was going to kind of mirror what you would talk about, because this isn't something that you and I are, what is yours per game? It's all off the cuff. And for me, it was just plainly Mike Budenholzer's adjustments in this game, which is something we just hadn't seen in a guy like Mike Budenholzer, who's been doing this, and Frank Vogel on the opposite end, who never made these kind of adjustments. So there as well. But it just goes to show you, one of the things I was going to say earlier in this game when the Suns were getting demolished, Anthony Davis had 20 first half points or something ridiculous, was this team has no answer for Anthony Davis. And maybe the answer to this team is not a singular player. It might just be the mind of Mike Budenholzer, because his ability to come out and continue to craft lineups, he wasn't scared in this game, late in this game, to tinker with the lineup. So I would absolutely agree with you. The ability to be able to make those adjustments, pull out Nurkic, a guy Mason Plumlee, who I was talking about going to be the new Drew Eubanks of this team, stepped up really well tonight. So my guy Jusuf Nurkic, not looking too good.
So AD blocked Nurk on the very first possession of the game. Yeah. He had 10 shot attempts in the first quarter, AD alone, and had 16 points and 4 rebounds. I think he had a couple of blocks in there as well. They were doing such a good job of getting him into space, allowing his athleticism to take advantage of Jusuf Nurkic, and he's beasting on the glass as always. He's getting to the free throw line. And then another thing happened where Davis turned his ankle. The ball got caught underneath of him.
Yeah.
And he just didn't look like himself the rest of the way. And that's kind of the Anthony Davis experience. This isn't a Lakers podcast, but there's also part of me that wonders, yes, there was an adjustment, but did the Suns kind of just get lucky that they couldn't be organized enough to keep feeding the dude who was killing them? Because you're right. They went small. To me, that's just hey, we're going to keep up on offense, and guys just need to play with effort and try to get enough stops to live to see another day.
Mm-hmm.
But I was watching that game like, did J.J. Redick notice that nobody could stop Anthony Davis? So, I mean, in a lot of ways, the Suns just kind of paid off on that rather than even necessarily stopping Davis down the stretch of the game.
Yeah, and I whispered over you as that beautiful fire alarm finally goes off in the middle of this. Hopefully everything is okay here. Oh, no, back on. But anyways, Anthony Davis, I had whispered over to you just basically like, there's no answer for this guy. And J.J. Redick, we haven't heard from him in the fourth quarter, third quarter. Sure, he had some moments, but, I never really pointed to him rolling his ankle on the ball as a potential of him coming
you never
back.
Know, right?
But it actually is a really good observation. There was another thing you'd said in there, which was maybe the Suns just kind of got lucky. I'm looking at the box score here at Beautiful Footprint Center. 29 points, 15 rebounds. I don't think they got lucky. I just think they found a way to outlast Anthony Davis scoring barrage in the beginning of that game and made the correct adjustments. This is a Mike Budenholzer win just as much as it is Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and that'll kind of take me to what I was going to talk about, because you would hit.
Well, want to get to it in the next big takeaway, second segment. Do you
want? Well, I was going to go moment.
Okay, moment.
My moment of the game was, very similar to yours, was the Mike Budenholzer adjustment there. But what I was more so going to anchor to was just the Phoenix Suns showing still that they have the best player on the court in Kevin Durant and his ability. You can argue Anthony Davis, you could argue LeBron James, but Kevin Durant consistently coming down the court, where I'm poking at you and I'm saying Brendon. J.J. Redick is actively screaming at them to come and double Kevin Durant. It didn't matter. Being able to have that guy that is able to get that bucket each and every game, and in these high leverage moments where this is a big game. So at the end of the season, this could be a tiebreaker for potentially a playoff spot. Like, sure. These games matter. And Kevin Durant with on the court with Devin Booker, Anthony Davis, LeBron James was the best player tonight. And him continuously coming down, pick whichever clutch shot you want. Him doing that tonight, that right there was my big moment of the game for sure. So that's right.
Yeah, I guess one thing I don't have a spot for, so I'll just say it here, is to tie those two things together. The other end of the court with Anthony Davis was also obviously a factor tonight. You have to account for him every possession on the defensive end of the court. And both Booker and Durant, who combined for 63 points on 22 of 43 shooting, better than 50%, got up their threes, got to the free throw line. Like, this is vintage Book and KD. They actually beat AD by involving him directly. Like, you would think at all costs you keep Anthony Davis away from what you want to do on the court. That's the best way to attack him. But I think what we saw on Friday is that him at the last line of defense as a rim protector is what's scary.
Yeah.
So they were actually coaxing him into switching, getting him out there, and just saying, we'll beat you. And both Booker and Durant, I'm sure if you go on YouTube, you look up their highlights tonight, a good majority of their buckets were right on Anthony Davis, which is never what you would think you would try to do, but that seemed to be the game plan, and it worked.
I mentioned that in their post-game shorts, was a lot of Devin Booker's game tonight was in that painted area. Late in the fourth quarter, I had mentioned, I was like, oh man, only one make from the mid-range shot, and there was 3 shots altogether. But most of his work was done in the painted area, which shows your fearlessness, which shows you an ability with not just Kevin Durant, but Devin Booker adding another element to this game, getting to the line, being more physical. And, I mean, you seriously can't ask for anything more than that.
Next, I want to talk about the defense. That's my big takeaway from the game. We'll get to Ben's as well. 109-105, Suns beat the Lakers. Oh, we're using two screens, guys. First, today's show is brought to you by the Game Time app, the best place to buy any ticket. Game Time has a new feature that's even better than ever called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets, whether that's sports, concerts, comedy, theater, whatever you love. Damage, the Tempe Improv here at Footprint Center. Game Time has you covered. Those Game Time Picks sort the offerings in each event, in each city, with the best value right up top. They also have their all-in pricing you can check out, the seat views, all right there in their app, making it the best place to buy a ticket. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
Ben's been waiting to do that all season long, and here we are in person. Want to remind everybody before we get to our big takeaways from the Suns beatdown of the Lakers tonight, sign up for the Locked On Suns daily newsletter. It's at lockedondaily.com. Click the Suns icon, put your email in, start getting daily emails to catch up on everything going on with the Suns in the NBA. We also have a link right down below. You can just click it, do the same thing, and those will start coming in for you every single day. My big takeaway from this game, Ben, this was the best defensive performance of the season for the Suns. I mean, obviously, you look at 105 points. That's a great place to start. 42% shooting for the Lakers. But this team beats you when you foul them. And outside of Austin Reeves getting the best whistle in the NBA, which I'll let you tee off on if you need to.
We're going to talk about it in a second here, yeah.
18 free throw attempts for the Lakers is a really good number. Yes, you get lucky that LeBron misses three and whatever else, but the attempts is what matters. They kept the Lakers off the line. They contested. They flew around, even in portions of the game where they were small, even in portions of the game where they're going to their backup center. Whatever it was, the Suns just executed on defense for, frankly, the first time all season that I've come out of a game feeling like, wow, they did what they set out to do on the defensive side.
Yeah, which kind of shows you that a defensive coordinator of a head coach in Frank Vogel, kind of a little bit overrated and overstated. But we had talked about this. We had said, hey, let's just really quickly preview this Lakers game. Who's going to win, whatever, all that good stuff. And one of the things I had mentioned is you got to play stout defense against the Lakers because they match up with you really, really well. They can go big on you. They can go jumbo. And the Suns don't necessarily have an answer for a guy in Anthony Davis. Keep them off the line. Suns did that tonight. They outshot the Lakers in terms of free throws tonight. And that is not something that if you asked me that 2 nights ago, that would happen. I wouldn't think they would ever do that. On a playoff series, not ever. But just keeping them off the line, that is the Lakers' bread and butter. The Lakers' identity has always been, over the past few years, under the LeBron regime, because that's what this is, getting to the basket, playing physical, and draw fouls. But draw fouls not the James Harden way. You're just getting to the line because you're living in the painted area. They still don't shoot a ton of threes. The Suns got them out of what they do and what their identity is. And when you do that, you throw a team completely out of flux. So I would agree with you, and that is something that Suns did entirely well. You know, kind of moving over to what my biggest takeaway was, just really quickly. For all the Suns fans in the comment section, you know what? Pause right there. Just really quickly, going back to the fouls.
Okay.
Because I should have said this a second ago, but I'm going to pause. Why does Austin Reeves have literally the best whistle I have seen? He had the superstar whistle tonight. Not Kevin Durant, not Devin Booker, not Anthony Davis, not LeBron James. This guy flopping around on the court. He's getting, I mean, I guess they call it a hip check three-pointer, but no one hits a three-pointer that smoothly if they're getting hip checked.
And he tried to draw one earlier in the game, and they called it on Book on the floor, so he almost got 2 in one game. Just complete gamesmanship. It's like
it's not even a veteran
Harden.
move.
We saw on last Wednesday they didn't call those types of things for Harden because they're trying to get those out of the NBA. And yet Austin Reeves, who's like the 4th best player on the 8th best team in the West, he puts gold on, and all of a sudden he gets calls even James Harden is not getting. So I don't get it. I really don't.
I seriously just think it's the feisty, scrappy, small white dude who plays basketball that everyone just likes and just sees the guy swarming to the ball, and he just gets those goals. I think that's what it is.
He is a very physical player.
He's
like,
good,
I will give him that, but it's on another level.
Okay, there was
only 3 free throw attempts tonight. But he drew 5, literally, I'm not exaggerating.
I think it was 6.
Like 5 or 6 off-ball, like, non-shooting fouls. And that's the craziest part. It's like the refs have, like how a Fox did a Caitlin Clark cam during the college basketball season. The refs had a Reeves cam where every bump, it's like he's getting to they're resetting the play because he has to be treated like a, it's like Cinderella's glass slipper or something.
It's like ridiculous. They're worried that their favorite golden boy on the court is going to get hurt. There was just clear times where it was away from the ball. You didn't need to call anything. It wasn't like they were trying to get someone in foul trouble. On the baseline, on the opposite side of the court, I remember directly I don't know what they did, but they called the foul. And it was to a point where I think it was Bradley Beal and Austin Reeves who got the double foul. I'm ready to be called a casual, and I'll admit whatever. And I told this to Brendon. Maybe I shouldn't admit this on the air. I go, what the bleep is a double foul? And Brendon kind of looked at me like I had 3 heads, and I said, have you ever seen that? And Brendon, as stoic as he is, said, no, I don't think I've seen that either. And in my defense, everyone in the press box or in the media box or whatever was all saying, wait a second, who gets the ball? What is this?
I saw the same thing on Twitter, so I don't think anybody's... I've never seen
that before. I've seen a double technical. I understand what that is.
Technical, sure.
Get that?
Yeah, what the
heck is a double personal foul? Is that just the Austin Reeves special?
They ran out of regular fouls to give him, so they had to start making other ones up. I have couple more things on the defense before you do yours.
Yeah.
So this was also part of the reason it was the Suns' best defensive game of the season. Is it was Kevin Durant's best defensive game of the season. 4 blocks for him. He makes business decisions. And if I'm 37 years old doing anything at a high level athletically, I will probably be doing the same thing. I do not fault the guy. He can be a great defender when he needs to be. I think most nights he's hoping the team doesn't need him to be A+. Tonight he brought A+. I don't know if that's because he was feeling good. I don't know if it's because it was the Lakers game. I don't know if it was because they knew AD would be such a handful. But he was engaged in helping at the rim in a way that he's not always going to do. Also was chipping in on the glass, getting some contested rebounds and boxing out and those types of things. So shout out to KD. And when we talk about Nurk getting benched, Plumlee's athletic rim protection. I know that sounds crazy to call Mason Plumlee athletic, but he's the very least, he's more athletic than Nurk. He is that. And Bud shouted it out post-game. His verticality, leaping, putting his arms up without, making contact and getting that ref to call a foul. That's a big part of why you look and only see 18 free throws, is that Plumlee was able to create misses at the basket without making those into free throw attempts. So those 2 dudes for sure deserve a shout out, in addition to Dunn and O'Neal and all the guys we always talk about.
Well, it's actually better that you would kind of twisted it over through that way, because my biggest takeaway was Jusuf Nurkic. And it's more of a positive than it is a negative, because I've always said at the beginning of the season, the Suns' biggest issue with this team, I always thought was the wing position. I didn't think it was the point guard. I didn't think it was the center. They needed to get deeper. Now, with the emergence of Royce O'Neal, who looks like a steal for the second-round picks they traded for him, who's been very good to start the season, both defensively and offensively and shooting the 3. Ryan Dunn has emerged. Maybe the Suns, and I talked about it with you this today over text, was they don't have a wing problem. Maybe they got to push those chips in and figure out to solidify the center position. Now, listen, I'm not going to totally sell my stock in the Jusuf Nurkic thing. The problem that people think I have with the whole Jusuf Nurkic narrative is I know what Jusuf Nurkic is. Suns fans, in my opinion, are still trying to get this elite or even pretty good level center. And he's never going to be that guy. I think he's average at literally everything except for passing the basketball. I think he's a very prolific passer, although he's having trouble in this offense doing that. The Suns, in my opinion, because they still don't have the ability to really cover Anthony Davis on a consistent basis just with personnel, there is going to be a real uprising soon, whether it's with Suns fans, the community, the media, that they might have a lack of depth issue at the center position. I don't know what they do with that. I don't know if it's a Walker Kessler. I'd probably be against that one because it just doesn't make any sense. But the Suns have some sort of a center issue, and if they want to go further than we all want them to do in the playoffs, they're going to have to figure that out.
Well, that's exactly it. I think that's what Suns fans are worried about with Nurk. Is not so much how good he is, big picture or contract, or it's just games like this show you that he can't be the only guy for 4 playoff rounds.
Yeah.
And I think even if it is true that AD is going to be a bigger test than other centers, AD exists, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to go through guys like that, so it can't be. But, yeah, I mean, they don't have that solution right now. It's nice that Plumlee's available. They're coming up with some small ball combinations they like. Oso's there as a backup plan. You know, they're not helpless, but it's not looking pretty. I mean, he just got flat out benched tonight. Like, there's no,
he was unplayable.
It was because of this foul thing, or no. From the second quarter on, he didn't play until the last possession of the game.
You know, you had said, I joked with you, I was like, I'm just going to defend Jusuf Nurkic on the air today, and you're like, please don't do that. And I always tell you, like, I'm loyal to the truth. I'm not loyal to a take. Jusuf Nurkic was flat out awful tonight, defensively, offensively, in all facets of the game. Now, a little bit of that is also the fact that there is Anthony Davis on the other side. Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, and Joel Embiid are going to make a lot of centers look bad. Still, like we had mentioned, Anthony Davis exists. They're going to have to move on past that, and it's definitely going to be a narrative that continues to go all the way up to the trade deadline.
Yeah, It's more the AD guys. I mean, those post players, I think I actually trust more against. Like Jokic
as well.
It's actually like, okay, I kind of can see that. It's more I'm surprised he played well against Dallas, to be honest. I would have thought Lively was a guy who could give him fits, but the Suns were able to figure it out. All right, last but not least, let's talk about the rookies. Rookie Oso did not play. We'll get to that. Some box score things, and wrap up the show with the closeout. All right, Ben. Best time of the show. Your favorite time of the show. We got to talk about Ryan Dunn. Rookie watch. No minutes for Oso Ighodaro, as I mentioned. When he didn't come in the second quarter, I think we kind of knew, okay, that experiment has run its course. Bud is trimming the rotation down slowly but surely here, it would appear. And Ryan Dunn steps in. I feel like Bud was kind of planning like he did in that first Lakers game, 5-10 minutes. And then he just, partially because Nurk goes down, gets benched, and then goes small more than maybe they were expecting, but partially because Dunn just keeps playing his way into opportunities. You look up and it's 15 minutes again. He's out there when it matters. He's making shots. He's defending another awesome all-time player. Like, it's one of those things where I already feel like we're just going to have to put the kid gloves away. And, like, this guy's just a real player, and we don't need to do the whole wow every night. Like, this is just what he is now.
This is what we should expect. You know, you had mentioned, you have the point, so I'll let you say it. But go ahead and point out the players that Ryan Dunn has had a significant assignment on when he's in the game to start the season.
Right? It's Harden on opening night.
Who was good?
LeBron twice now. It's Luka. And, a couple things from postgame that stuck out were them talking about his confidence, which to me has been the thing that stuck out immediately, both in how he plays, like the risks he's willing to take on the court. He's physical. He's dancing through screens. He's going to contest. He's going to whatever. But he also trash talks. He's, he's like flexing after every big shot. And Bud said it basically is a testament to the vets like embracing him so quickly. And then so we asked Book, like, well, okay, why'd you guys embrace him so quickly? And he just said he came into day one of camp of whatever. They just recognized that this guy was ready in a way that most rookies aren't from a mental standpoint. And, it's just like you hear something like that, and it just backs up what we're seeing on the court that, like, this guy is a real deal. He's going to be a factor every single night. He's just as good as we all think he is from the first week.
He is the kind of edge the Suns need in any playoff series. His ability to, and I pointed this out to you you had watched it, but I was just pointing it out in theory, was Ryan Dunn defending LeBron James and stopping him from scoring multiple times in this game. And then on the very next possession, went right at LeBron James, who I think is the greatest basketball player of all time. Let's just say he's top 3 for sake of argument. Top 3 basketball player of all time. Ryan Dunn goes right at him. Not many rookies do that. And that's kind of one of the things, just kind of really quickly over the Oso Ighodaro thing. I don't think Oso has that. And it's not me saying Oso's not good or he's not playable, none of these things. I even told you when we were just over here talking about the game, I was like, Oso, the signs that he has shown already shows me he is a successful second-round pick, and he has shown he was deserving of the pick the Suns took him at. But Ryan Dunn has this edge to him where he just doesn't give a bleep who he's going up against. LeBron James, Luka Doncic the other night, and he feeds off the crowd. And that is just something that this team, it's infectious. Kevin Durant is shooing up the crowd and getting everyone into it. This team didn't have that. They're connected, man. And Ryan Dunn's a big piece of it.
Got to give some credit to Beal. KD was pumping the crowd up on the Beal breakaway ball.
Okay,
I think the other night it was him doing basically the same thing with Dunn. Beal didn't have a great game. We're not going to say his name, so I at least got to give credit where credit's due. But let's go on to our benchmark vibe check here. Just keep tabs on this rotation. So we obviously talked about the big elephant in the room. No disrespectful pun intended there, I promise, in terms of Nurkic getting benched, Plumlee replacing him, small ball in between there. I also just want to point out, so Grayson Allen comes back. He is clearly working his way into conditioning, right? He didn't make much of an impact on this game.
Some might say he has a dad bod now.
Yeah, for better or worse, right? And just you think back like the Achilles thing, he had personal a couple different times. I don't know what was going on with the labor of everything, but baby's born, he's back. It's just going to be a
He doesn't actually have a dad bod for those. He's a dad now. That was the joke.
I mean, he's bigger. So I think he is, like we talked about that though, right? Like I do think we always knew he was going to have a little bit of an adjustment with that body. So now there's just another little layer of like what, all the in-laws bringing over cake for the, shower and all that sort of stuff.
If he's smart, he'll keep the in-laws far away. Oh, sorry, it's my own personal issues. Okay. I'm sorry.
Other thing, and I'm not doing this to like take the victory lap, but I think we saw this coming. Monte Morris minutes dwindling as well.
Yeah.
I think that the ultimate destiny of this team is Tyus is the point guard. When Tyus is not on the court, there probably is no point guard on the court. And that's because Dunn has stepped up so much. O'Neal has played a lot better than we thought. Grayson is still going to be a factor here. The big three are all healthy. To me, that isn't such a bad thing. I think that that's still the best version of this team. There's only so many minutes to go around, and Monte's played fine. It's just the modern NBA, you want guys who are 6'7" out there over guys who are 6'2", and the Suns have a lot of guys who are wings suddenly who are playing well. So this is a good thing. I just want to point it out.
Oh, it is a fantastic thing, especially for a team that is kind of made of glass in some aspects. Really, Bradley Beal's going to miss games. He's already missed 2. And what do we see in that? Monte Morris played in some of those games. Devin Booker, he's going to pull a hamstring. Kevin Durant's going to roll an ankle. This team's deep. And it's just nice to know that Monte Morris is on the bench if they need him. And it's just good to have. Like, this team's deep. Royce O'Neal's been great.
Timberwolves traded for Monte Morris at the deadline last year to bolster their playoff rotation. He can't even crack, this healthy team right now. That says it all.
Do you remember where we were at this time last year when it was Keita Bates-Diop and Josh Okogie? Book was already hurt. Like, just the 180 that has been this Suns season so far, 3-1. We are having to talk about having to sit guys who we think could play on other teams. I feel like the Lakers might use a guy like Monte Morris in some aspects, or maybe not them, but another team. Like, just the 180. Whether the Suns win the championship or not, Suns fans should just feel so much more better about where the team is. They are so much more likable. Tonight was a ton of fun, man. Beat freaking LA. That was great.
I'm feeling good about my prediction that this is going to be the most fun team in a while. We'll see how it stacks up.
Hey, listen, I'm feeling really good about Ryan Dunn being the Rookie of the Year. We go 2 for 2. We should just play the lottery.
We got, 30 weeks of the NBA season to go, but our predictions feel really good right now. All right, don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button, guys. We're here for you every single day. Become an everydayer. Join the community. Click that link below to sign up for the newsletter. Get that in your email inbox. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.